What is going on, everyone? Week 1 of the NFL season is finally here. The Houston Texans on the road to face their AFC South Division rival, the Indianapolis Colts. I can't tell you how excited I am for this game, for this season, but I want to hear from you first. Let me know in the comments down below your score prediction and your stat leaders for this Sunday's matchup. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to give you my keys to victory for this Houston Texans team. My name is Ruben Calvillo, and this is the 713 Houston Sportcast, where I drop daily Houston Texans content. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And this episode was brought to you and powered by BetUS. Ladies and gentlemen, it is week 1. This is the BetUS website, and they just upped their promotion, so make sure you're taking advantage of the 150% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Let's look at tonight's season opener, the Baltimore Ravens against the Kansas City Chiefs. You see the Chiefs are favored here by 3 points. I like the upset here. However, the Chiefs were upsetted last year by the Detroit Lions. Do I think that happens this year? I don't think so. So I'm going to take the Chiefs right here. And I'm going to go ahead and just risk $10, right? Let's start off slow to start the season. You guys know the amounts of bets I've put in for the Houston Texans. Let me know if you guys tell. As we see, we got $10 to win $10. Shout out to BetUS, man. They do a fantastic job, and once again, take advantage of that 150% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to my keys to victory for the Houston Texans. The first one, winning the war in the trenches. Let's start with the offensive line. It's going to be the first time we get to see Laramie Tunsil, Kenyon Green, Juice Scruggs, Shaq Mason, Titus Howard play a football game together in 2 seasons. This is one of the reasons why I am excited for this offensive line, for this offense period, because if fully healthy, we know what Laramie Tunsil can do. We know what Shaq Mason can do. We know what Titus Howard at right tackle can do. And last season, CJ Stroud showed that he can get the ball out quick. A 0-sack performance against the Pittsburgh Steelers with no Laramie Tunsil and no Titus Howard. So with everyone fully healthy on the offensive line, I am expecting a game where CJ Stroud is kept clean. Do I think it's going to be pretty the entire 4 quarters? Absolutely not. There is going to be some growing pains to start off with these guys finally playing together for the first time in 2 seasons. But overall, I think the offensive line is going to be a huge key to this game, especially knowing that the guys opposite of them, the Indianapolis Colts, have a nasty front 4. They have Kwity Paye on one edge, Liatu Leal, their first-round draft pick, the first defensive player taken off the board this season. Some guys have them favorite to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Then in the middle, this is why I think the Colts are the scariest. DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart. When I look at my interior offensive line, Kenyon Green did not play last year. Juice Scruggs only played half the season, the second part. I'm going to keep my eye on there. DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart are definitely the type of defensive tackles that could ruin a game plan. So it's going to be a tough task right out the gate for this Houston Texan offensive line, but I think they're going to be able to keep CJ upright, and I think they're going to be able to create some lanes and holes for our running back Joe Mixon. Switching to the Houston Texans defensive line, it's brand new with 3 new starters: Mario Edwards Jr., Lorenzo Fatukasi, and Danielle Hunter, your big free agent acquisition, one of your big free agent acquisitions. And going opposite of him, the reigning Defensive Rookie of the Year, Will Anderson Jr. I cannot tell you the last time we had a defensive line this stacked. We have 2 legit edge rushers, ladies and gentlemen. And the key to this defensive line is containing the run. Not only do you have to worry about Jonathan Taylor, in my opinion, one of the best running backs in the NFL, you have to worry about the legs of Anthony Richardson. And if the Houston Texans can contain the run game, I like our chances on Sunday. Now, it's easier said than done. Like I mentioned, JT is one of the best backs in the NFL. And with Anthony Richardson, his mobility is special, was one of the reasons why he was a top draft pick by Indy last season. With that being said, it's going to be a great task for them. You also look at our linebacking core, Azeez Al-Shaair, Henry To'oTo'o, Jake Hansen. They will be looking to contain the running game as well. Azeez Al-Shaair, another one of your free agent acquisitions in the offseason. He will be calling the plays for your defense, one of the captains for your entire team. Azeez Al-Shaair, he's going to have a tough matchup trying to contain JT and AR5. But ladies and gentlemen, if the Houston Texans win the war in the trenches, they have a good chance of winning this game on Sunday. My second key to the game, which kind of ties in with the first one, being able to run the ball with your new starting running back, Joe Mixon. And I think a lot of people have forgot about Joe. He is entering this game healthy. And I finally want to see a Houston Texan offense when the pass and run are working at the same time. Now, it's going to be easier said than done. Like I already mentioned, the Colts have a good front four, but they have two superstar linebackers, Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed. You know, the trash talk that's been going forth between them and our quarterback, CJ Stroud. They are looking to ruin our day, but this is where I look at our undrafted rookie fullback, British Brooks. Put the hurt on those boys. You are arguably the biggest running back in our group. Put the pain on them. Let them know that this Houston Texans running game can not only be patient, but dish out some punishment as well. But if Joe Mixon can get it going, guys, then this entire offense is going to open up. This is the last time I'm going to say this because I feel like I've been repeating it. The Houston Texans last season only had 3 100 rushing yard performances, and they were all victories. I could only imagine how this offense is going to look when both are working at the same time. And here's the thing, guys. We haven't even mentioned our tight ends. We haven't even mentioned our fantastic wide receiver trio, and we'll get to that in a second. But I think Joe Mixon might have an opportunity to showcase his worth week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts and let them know, even though I'm getting up there in age, I could still be a starting running back. But Joe Mixon and this running game are one of my keys to victory for the Houston Texans. Another one of my keys to the game for the Houston Texans, making Anthony Richardson beat you with his arm. Now, here's the thing, guys. He did not look good in preseason throwing the football. He had a pick 6 against the Cincinnati Bengals, and during that week, right, during joint practices, there were reports of the Cincy defense just having their way with the Indianapolis Colts offense and even saying things like he doesn't throw to people, he throws to spots, all he does is run. I'm excited to see what Anthony Richardson does in week 1. I'm not going to lie. I saw a stat that says this is his 17th game since high school. A lot of inexperience there. But let me get this out the way because a lot of people think I just hate Anthony Richardson. No, I do think he figures it out. If it wasn't CJ Stroud for us last year, I said I wanted Anthony Richardson. I know the project he was going to be, and I think he will figure it out. But I don't think that happens in week 1, and I think Indianapolis fans know that as well. With AR, what's special about him is his ability to make plays and his ability to just be mobile, and he's a freaking tank. The questions really are about his arm, about his accuracy, and during the preseason, like I mentioned, did not look good throwing the ball. And when you look at this Houston Texans secondary of Derek Stingley, Jimmy Ward, Kamari Lassiter, Kalen Bullock, and Jalen Petrie in that star nickel role, I like our secondary's chances. Michael Pittman Jr. does not scare me. A.D. Mitchell does not scare me. There will be no Josh Downs. I don't think he practiced today, second day in a row for the Indianapolis Colts. But this is one of my keys to the game. Making AR beat you with his arm. I am trusting my Houston Texans secondary against this Indianapolis Colts passing attack. Now, my final key to the game is attacking the Indianapolis Colts secondary. They did nothing to improve that area in the offseason. It was something that Indianapolis fans complained about. Nico Collins by himself put up 195 yards in Week 18 against them with no Tank Dell, no Robert Woods, no Noah Brown. His only other help was Dalton Schultz. Now you have Tank Dell, who didn't go against Indy in Week 18, and now you have Stephon Diggs, your big trade in the offseason. You heard me say on Bleacher Report, I think Stephon Diggs is going to score the first touchdown for this Houston Texans. But this is what we all wanted to see. This Houston Texans passing attack. CJ Stroud as your quarterback. 3 number 1 wide receivers. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs. A receiving threat at tight end in Dalton Schultz. And then a running back in Joe Mixon, who is not only a threat on the ground, but a threat through the air as well. It would not surprise me if the Houston Texans come out and try to air this thing out like they did in Week 18. First play, 75-yard house call to the crib. This is going to be an air raid type of offense, ladies and gentlemen. I wonder if they bring it out Week 1. I actually want it to happen in Week 1. But my score prediction for this game, I have the Houston Texans winning 30-20. I have the Houston Texans starting off the game on defense and putting an end to this AR-5 hype. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comments down below about Week 1. Do we win? Do we lose? For more Houston Texans content, come back for more. This episode was brought to you and powered by BetUS. You all have a very blessed day.